Spirit Recovery+Magic+Forbidden Area+dungeon+upgrade+All attributes+Gods, spiritual energy revives, monsters ravage, and people awaken to become supernatural beings, fighting against monsters and guarding their homes. The ordinary Xu Tianming was hit by a blood-colored meteor when he went out to make soy sauce at night, causing a huge change in his life. A shooting star entered his mind. Not only did it give him a full attribute talent, but it also provided him with 2 upgrade points every day that could upgrade everything. Awakening E.level skills at the beginning. Don't panic, I'll just add some upgrades, even E.level skills can crush everything. At this point, the nightmare of monsters and gods has also begun. Jin Jeshuan Turtle. My defense is so high, why did he blow me up with just one punch? Double-winged black snake. I was born as the king of poison, but you dare to believe that he poisoned me to death. The god of storms. Yes. I am the master of the winds, and he blew me away in one breath. God of space. Damn it. I worked hard to create a world, but you lifted 3,000 worlds and smashed me to death. Boss, quickly collect your powers, I'll be your little brother. Until one day when the foreign gods invaded, the old gods burst into tears. Oh my goodness, finally someone has come to share our pain. Chapter 1. Bloody Meteor, Awakening Ceremony. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before watching, please store your brain here. Carrying a bottle of soy sauce, Xu Tianming, who was walking on the road, froze. He can see clearly. A blood-red meteor pierced through the sky, enveloped in blazing flames, gradually magnifying in one's own field of vision. He wanted to escape, but his feet seemed to have been filled with lead and soldered to death in place. I can't even move half of it. With a loud bang. The blood-colored meteor hit Xu Tianming's forehead, and he collapsed with black eyes. Dongchuan Province, Jiangnan City. At the entrance of Jiangnan 3rd Middle School. 9 buses waited for a long time. Today is the big day for every high school graduate in this generation. Holy Awakening Day. At this point, most of the class members have arrived and are sitting in the car, fully prepared for departure. There are only 7 classes, and the class teacher and cadres are still eagerly anticipating. Soon, Xu Tianming, with a bandage wrapped around his head, arrived late. Hurry up, Lao Su, just wait for you. Lying down. You. What's going on here? Brother Su Xiaodao was about to say hello when he suddenly saw it clearly and was startled. Isn't it, big brother? It's our turn to awaken at 3rd Middle School today. Do you still have time to fight people? Xu Tianming's head was wrapped in a thick layer of gauze, and even traces of blood were oozing out. Go up to the side. I went out to make soy sauce in the middle of last night and was hit by an inexplicable shooting star. Xu Tianming rubbed his head with resentment on his face. You went out late at night to make soy sauce. Xu Xiaodao looked strange. I'm willing, how can I drip it? Xu Tianming gave him a pale glance. TSK, then you're really unlucky. Since it's all like this, why don't you lie down in the hospital? What if you suddenly faint here later? Xu Xiaodao looked at Xu Tianming and couldn't help but say, the bright red still seeping out of his forehead. Joking, what day is today? I've been waiting for so many years just to wait for today. Not to mention this small injury, it's just a comminuted fracture of my whole body. Then I have to find someone to help me carry it. Xu Tianming said seriously. Disgusting. With perseverance, I admire it. Xu Xiaodao gave a thumbs up. The homeroom teacher breathed a sigh of relief and let them get on the bus first. Everyone is here. The bus slowly advanced towards the city center. Go to the Holy Land of Jiangnan City Center, Jade God Mountain. Jiangnan City is built along both sides of the Nanjiang River, after the southern river flows through Yushan Mountain, and the completion of Jiangnan City, Yushan Mountain is located in the center of Jiangnan City, becoming a holy land of the city. Legend has it that there is a sacred copy above, but no one has ever seen it. Quickly, upon arriving at Yushan Mountain, all the students from number 3 middle school got off and walked up the mountain to show their piety. The entire Jade God Mountain is shrouded in a mysterious atmosphere, and the top seems to shine with a hint of holy light against the backdrop of sunlight. Like the guardian deity of Jiangnan City. At the mountaintop, a colorful divine pillar stands on the mountaintop. A team of heavenly guards is stationed here year-round. 2 Tianwei officers wearing dark red windbreakers stood on both sides, exuding a sense of awe and awe. After some rectification, Principal Li Guofu began to speak. He coughed lightly twice and spoke, "I have talked too much about awakening before, so I won't go into further detail here. Without further ado, in 3 years' time, you have already learned theoretical knowledge very solidly. But the next awakening ceremony is time to see your true abilities. Your future depends entirely on your qualifications. The principal sincerely hopes that every student present can become a pillar of the future flag of the human race. Since the revival of spiritual energy many years ago, everything has changed in this world. Everyone can become a supernatural being, and the future depends entirely on their own qualifications. Those with good qualifications, awaken good attributes, and strong abilities can have a better future. After all, at present, there are countless monsters and numerous forbidden zones. Only powerful people can protect the human race comprehensively, which is the importance of talent." As the principal finished speaking, the heavenly guard officer who had been guarding the awakening pillar walked forward. Next, on a class basis, those who shout their names will step onto the stage and place their hands on the awakening pillar. The first one, Class 1 every 3 years, Lu Qian. With the shouting of the Tianwei officers, excited students walked forward one by one. He placed his hand on the colorful stone pillar, and in the next moment, a complex formation lit up, emitting a brilliant light like a Milky Way. However, the light varies in strength and weakness, some are incredibly brilliant, while others are dull and singular. Lu Qian, with D.level ability in the woody system, has the ability to promote the growth of plants. Zhang de Peo, soil type D.level ability, sand making. Zhu Jie, water system C.level ability, water column impact. Wang Wu, C.level ability in the light system, perpetual light. Listening to the constant sounds on stage, Xu Tianming's heart pounded in his chest. There are both expectations and concerns. He expects to acquire a good ability. I am also worried about obtaining a garbage ability. Don't be too bad, at least get a C, he prayed in his heart. Hey, Lao Su, what kind of ability do you think you can awaken? I think I can definitely awaken abilities above level A. I will definitely blind everyone's eyes in the national enrollment exam in a week. Su Xiaodao next to him suddenly said. Oh. How could you see that? Xu Tianming asked curiously. My parents used to calculate with a blind man and suddenly said that I would definitely be rich and prosperous in this life, and would wear a yellow robe. Maybe I can also become a presence like those 9 guardians of the human world, and there will definitely be countless beautiful girls impressed by my bravery. Su Xiaodao couldn't help but feel crooked in his heart. Xu Tianming suddenly frowned and said, Didn't you wear a yellow robe long ago? Ah. What? When? Su Xiaodao looked confused. Aren't you delivering takeout a few days ago? Isn't that just a yellow robe? Xu Tianming was serious. Get out of here, I'm telling you the truth. Su Xiaodao was speechless. Xu Tianming smiled and said, the higher the expectation, the greater the disappointment. I just want to awaken someone who is not lower than level C and can make money safely in the dungeon. Oh, I forgot, you still have that big family to raise. Su Xiaodao suddenly remembered. Xu Tianming is an orphan. At the age of 3, both of his parents passed away in an accident. He was raised by an elderly dean in an orphanage. Nowadays, the situation in orphanages is very bad, with no source of income at all, and they are almost unsustainable. Xu Tianming must earn money to support them. Hey, aren't you planning to go to college? Xu Xiaodao suddenly realized and asked. It depends on the situation. If there are conditions, go. If it's really not possible, you can only give up studying and earn money. Xu Tianming appeared calm and casual. Don't worry, your theoretical grades are so good, you always get full marks on exams, and your ability to awaken will definitely not be poor, Xu Xiaodao encouraged. Oh, I hope so. Xu Tianming smiled calmly. But he is well aware that theoretical performance and awakening talent have nothing to do with it. He usually only focuses on studying in the class, and the only person who can be considered friends with Xu Tianming is Xu Xiaodao. Others think that Xu Tianming is silent, only Xu Xiaodao knows his nature. Li Guofu on stage couldn't help but sigh as he watched each student awaken. This year's students are average, only 1A level and 5B level students were admitted. Do you remember last year, our school was the top source of students in the entire Jiangnan city. Your school is fine. Although there are not many outstanding students, there are also no very poor students. So far, the worst one is the D level. Another official, Zhao Wenjie, who was also watching from the sidelines, said. Yeah, this is probably the only consolation. Li Guofu nodded. In terms of ability level, S level is the highest and E level is the lowest. If an E level emerges, the overall level will be significantly lowered. Next, Class 7 in 3 years, Xia Xinyu. Hey! Look, it's the school flower of Xia University. Xu Xiaodao was instantly excited and forcefully stabbed Xu Tianming with his elbow. Xu Tianming did not agree. Xia Xinyu walked past Xu Tianming, with a hint of provocation in her eyes. In terms of theoretical performance, no matter how hard she tried, she was always overshadowed by Xu Tianming. This time she also held her breath, wanting to turn defeat into victory. She walked onto the stage and placed her hand on the stone pillar. Boom! After a few seconds of silence, a dazzling golden formation shone up. A brilliant light shone out, making everyone present unable to open their eyes for a moment. Waves of terrifying aura, like golden ripples, spread in all directions. Both Li Guofu and Zhao Wenjie's faces changed. This fluctuation is. Chapter 2. Genius on the left and waste materials on the right. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Boom above the awakening stone pillar, the light shines incessantly, like brilliant fireworks ascending into the void. After the explosion, a brilliant golden totem formed. Xuanao. Mysterious. A deity emerged from the totem, with golden and holy wings on its back, and a huge sword standing in front of it, holding the hilt with both hands. The supreme pressure seemed to suffocate people. After a moment, the heavenly guard officer next to the stone pillar widened his eyes. With some shock, he spoke up, S. Level. S. Level ability in the light system, Dawn of Justice. At this moment, Xia Xinyu was shrouded in brilliant golden light. Like a goddess of light, sacred and dreamy. Wherever she could see, a golden light flashed in an instant, dispelling all shadows and darkness. At this moment, it seemed as if the entire campus was completely illuminated by her. Ha ha, good and good, Xia Xinyu. The principal did not misread you, you have always been an outstanding child. At this moment, Principal Li Guofu was extremely excited. In this way, their third middle school will once again become famous. May I ask, what is your specific ability? Zhao Wenjie next to him suddenly asked. Oh, my ability can unleash a powerful dawn of justice, have natural restraint against evil monsters, and be able to dispel all darkness. Xia Xinyu proudly raised her neck. I see, it's a very powerful ability, Zhao Wenjie exclaimed. Thank you very much. Xia Xinyu gradually put away the dazzling light and nodded gently to express her gratitude. Then, she suddenly turned her head and stood on the high platform, her gaze fixed on Xu Tianming in the queue below. She slowly walked down the stage, like a superstar walking on the red carpet. At this moment, all the attention of the whole school is focused on her alone. Sleeping slot. It's actually an S.level, Lao Su. Are you sure you can surpass her? Su Xiaodao asked Xu Tianming. What are you joking about surpassing her? S.level is the highest, okay. Xu Tianming said. Well. At least you need to awaken an S.level ability that is more dynamic than her, said Su Xiaodao. Can you say for sure about this? Just do your best, there's no need to compare anything. Xu Tianming remained indifferent. The next one, Xu Tianming from class 7 in 3 years. Hey. It's your turn, put in more effort, I believe you can do it. Su Xiaodao gave a thumbs up. Xu Tianming glanced at him and calmly walked onto the stage. Others couldn't help but marvel at his attire. The top student in this grade is different. This skull is still bubbling with blood, we need to hold on and awaken. The principal on the side walked up to Xu Tianming and patted his shoulder. Su, you have always been the best student of this class, and I believe you will also awaken an excellent ability. Thank you, principal. Xu Tianming smiled. Turning around and walking to the awakening stone pillar, he took a deep breath and slowly put his hand up. Boom boom. Just 1 second later, the ground suddenly began to shake violently. The teaching buildings around the playground seemed to be trembling. For a moment, it seemed like something terrifying was about to come. Everyone held their breath. Li Guofu and Zhao Wenjie widened their eyes. No way, this aura is even stronger than when Xia Xinyu awakened her S.level abilities just now. Does he want to awaken a more powerful S.level ability? Boom. Above the sky, the clouds seemed to be suddenly pushed apart by some powerful force. A huge blood-red star, with a phantom appearing. It seems that in the moment it falls, it is about to shatter this world to pieces. This stunning scene made everyone present miss a beat in their hearts. They couldn't imagine what a terrifying force it was to awaken. The blood-colored star emitted a burst of light and landed on Xu Tianming's body. After a moment, handwriting appeared on the awakening stone pillar. At the same time, all the anomalies disappeared instantly. The Tianwei officer next to him widened his eyes once again. His face was filled with an incredulous expression, space. Space system. Li Guofu and Zhao Wenjie were suddenly surprised. The students below were also startled. Among the 13 attributes, the most powerful are undoubtedly space and time. Among the 9 guardians, there is a Chinese space swordsman named Zhuge Empty City. That's a legendary legend. Unexpectedly, today their 3rd middle school also gave birth to a spatial supernatural being. This is nothing but a scene that goes down in history. But at this moment, the Tianwei officer looked a bit awkward. I'm sorry, I haven't finished speaking yet. What he awakened was the E.level ability of the spatial system, weight adjustment. E.level. Impossible. How? How could it be level E? Upon hearing these words, the huge gap almost knocked Li Guofu unconscious in an instant. What about the spatial system? As long as it's an E.level skill, it's definitely the worst. He couldn't believe it and ran up the stage regardless of everything. After seeing the true result, the impact on my heart for a moment is indescribable. Haha, so this is the ability of our top students. E.level, don't laugh people to death. TSK, looking at his usual demeanor and ignoring everyone, I thought he could awaken such amazing skills, but I didn't expect that to be it. What a pity. This Xu Tianming looks so handsome. How could he only awaken an E.level skill? I originally thought I would confess my love to him after the awakening ceremony, but now I think I should let him down. A sigh echoed below. Many girls who paid more attention to Xu Tianming due to his handsome appearance suddenly lost most of their interest in him. No matter how bad they are, they will awaken at least D.level skills. In the future, people who have awakened their E.level skills will not be in the same world. Su Xiaodao couldn't help but clench his fists as he watched this scene, feeling unwilling for his friend. In the same class Q, Xia Xinyu also furrowed her brows, as if feeling a bit surprised. The E.level skill in space is really unheard of. Zhao Wenjie also furrowed his brow. Space is one of the two most powerful attributes, and the lowest skill in history is at level B. I have never heard of a space series before, yet it awakens an E.level skill. Can you tell me your specific abilities? Principal Li Guofu still asked somewhat unwillingly. And Xu Tianming closed his eyes, and a series of information about himself immediately appeared. Name: Xu Tianming, level LV1, 0.01%, skill. Weight adjustment, level 1. Spatial. You can freely adjust the weight of objects within 30 grams, but the adjusted weight cannot exceed 30 grams. 30 grams, even an egg is heavier than this, right? It is indeed a super trash skill. Xu Tianming has completed the inspection and will report it truthfully. Li Guofu suddenly gave up. Ah, it's just that. Everyone has their own destiny, and it's uncertain if you can make other achievements on other roads in the future. Li Guofu comforted Xu Tianming and also comforted himself. Fortunately, there is also Xia Xinyu. There is an S. class, and this time third middle school has already grown a face. Enough. Xu Tianming returned to the queue. The other classmates hardly glanced at him. Just because Su Xiaodao approached and asked, "Are you okay?" Xu Tianming turned his head and looked at him in a daze, suddenly showing a bright smile. "It's okay, on the contrary. It's great." Su Xiaodao was taken aback for a moment, thinking to himself that he might not have been hit too hard and had a mental disorder, right? But he didn't know that at this moment, a blood-red star was floating in Xu Tianming's mind. Chapter 3. 2 upgrade points per day, increasing your ability by 100 times. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is this star the blood-red meteor from last night? Xu Tianming was very shocked. At the moment of awakening, his consciousness was dragged into the space of his mind. I saw this huge star floating in my mind. It is like a blood-red sun, constantly releasing a mysterious aura. Xu Tianming is insignificant in front of it. Xu Tianming carefully observed it and saw 13 small stars floating in the blood-red sun. At this moment, one of them has been illuminated, covered by a mysterious and profound light. Xu Tianming was momentarily puzzled. But at this moment, the huge blood-red sun trembled and spewed out 2 pure white spots of light. Light, like a little elf, came to Xu Tianming's face. Xu Tianming reached out his hand by a stroke of fate to touch. In an instant, information about this spot of light immediately appeared in his mind. Upgrade point. Can be used to improve one's own level skills, as well as other creatures or items. Sleeping slot. Is this my cheat? Xu Tianming was pleasantly surprised in an instant. So, if this is true, can he improve my E.level ability? Xu Tianming was thinking about it when the white light spot in his hand slipped directly into his palm. I saw Xu Tianming's ability name floating out on the blood-red sun, and the font suddenly began to wriggle. And then it turned out to be weight adjustment, second order. The weight of objects within 300 grams can be freely adjusted, but the adjusted weight cannot exceed 300 grams. The strength of the ability has directly increased by 10 times. Xu Tianming was suddenly surprised. Good guy, this hanging is really impressive. He grabbed another spot of light again and thought of adding it to his abilities. And as expected, the huge font on the blood-red sun floated again. Ability upgraded again. Weight adjustment, 3rd order. You can freely adjust the weight of objects within 3 kilograms, but the adjusted weight cannot exceed 3 kilograms. In less than a minute. His ability has increased by 100 times. And he also knew a piece of news that the blood-red sun in front of him would spray 2 such upgrade points every day. TSK TSK TSK. Isn't that to say, he can increase his ability by 100 times every day. In this way, even if he lies flat, it is estimated that he will soon surpass the entire world. The most important thing is that things like money will no longer be his obstacle. For a moment, Xu Tianming's breathing became somewhat rapid. Soon, the awakening ceremony has ended. Xu Xiaodao has also awakened completely. As he wished, he awakened an A-level gold skill that could condense specific shaped metals within his body. He experimented and a sharp long knife slipped out of his palm. He excitedly displayed in front of Xu Tianming. But Xu Tianming only responded symbolically with a few words. Xu Xiaodao thought he was in a bad mood, so he didn't say anything more without interest. The awakening ceremony is over and the awakening pillar is closed. Everyone left the holy mountain and took a car back to school. After graduation, the entire senior year of high school held a graduation ceremony on a class-by-class basis. There are smiles and tears. After today, they will go their separate ways. I feel a bit excited naturally. However, the party is not mandatory for everyone to attend. So after the awakening ceremony, Xu Tianming left the school directly and returned to the dilapidated apartment he rented. He is eager to test his abilities. He casually took half a bottle of mineral water, then with a thought, he transformed his spiritual power into supernatural power based on what he had learned, and activated his skills. A strange light flashed over the half bottle of mineral water. Then Xu Tianming immediately felt that the weight on his hand had disappeared in an instant. He breathed a sigh of relief. The entire mineral water bottle is like a balloon, slowly floating up and floating in the corner of the room. Then he waved his hand again and increased the weight of a bottle of mineral water to 3 kilograms. The water bottle hit the ground with a loud bang. TSK TSK TSK, that's really a great ability. It doesn't look impressive right now. When it reaches a certain level of strength, maybe I can make a mountain float into the air and smash it down again. It's like a meteorite hitting the earth. When I see it, who can resist such an attack? Xu Tianming thought excitedly in his heart. Then he conducted a detailed test. As long as it is something with a diameter of less than 10 meters. Even without touching it, as long as the energy is covered, the weight of any object can be adjusted arbitrarily. The heaviest is no more than 3 kilograms, and the lightest is infinitely close to 0. Just exert all your strength, which consumes a bit of mental energy. I believe that my level has improved and I should feel better. Excitedly testing for the whole afternoon, Xu Tianming felt that his mental energy was almost exhausted, and then he stopped. Xu Tianming once again carefully studied the huge star in his mind. He carefully observed every detail of the stars. Suddenly he discovered something amazing. There are characters on those small stars in this huge universe. Although it may be a bit vague, Xu Tianming is confident that he did not read it wrong. The one that lights up at this moment is written with the word space. Darling, do these 13 stars represent 13 attributes? Then, when all of them light up, doesn't it mean I have all attributes? Xu Tianming was once again shocked. The divine power of this world has 13 attributes. Metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder, ice, light, darkness, spirit, space, time. As far as he knows, those who possess multiple attributes are all geniuses among geniuses. There is no one in a million. Is it difficult? Xu Tianming is about to become the first all-attribute supernatural being in history. Haha, that's great. This cheat is really powerful. It should be the golden finger mentioned in previous online articles, right? Not bad. Xu Tianming has kept memories of another world since childhood. According to the memory of that world, he quickly gained an understanding of that blood-colored star. How can a traveler without a golden finger? At this moment, the phone suddenly rang. It was Su Xiaodao calling. Old Su, in order to recruit students nationwide in a week, the school will organize a beginner's maze dungeon in 2 days and voluntarily participate. Do you want to go? There was a hint of exploratory inquiry in Su Xiaodao's tone. Of course, why not go? Xu Tianming raised the corner of his mouth and immediately blurted out. Oh good, 2 days later at 7 a.m., we'll gather at the school gate. Okay, I got it. Xu Tianming cooked 2 packets of instant noodles in a daze. After eating, go to bed early. Soon the next day. Just 6 o'clock, he opened his eyes excitedly. He quickly checked the blood-red star. Sure enough, the blood-red sun once again spewed out 2 white spots of light. Xu Tianming quickly applied 2 upgrade points to his own abilities without stopping. Subsequently, his spatial ability increased by 100 times again. He quickly checked his information. Name: Xu Tianming, level LV1, 0.01%, skill. Weight adjustment, 5th level. Space system. You can freely adjust the weight of objects within 300 kilograms, but the adjusted weight cannot exceed 300 kilograms. Hahaha, 300 kilograms is 600 kilograms. Now, breaking into a regular maze dungeon is definitely watering. Anyway, if you have time these days, why not register as a hunter and go to the beginner's maze dungeon to earn some money? Xu Tianming smiled, then washed up and had some breakfast, and removed the bandage from his head. Just rushed towards the Hunter Guild. Chapter 4. Becoming a Hunter, First Dungeon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiangnan City, in front of the gate of the Hunter Guild. Before going to the dungeon of the maze, Xu Tianming decided to register a hunter's title first. In this way, you can take on tasks in the Hunter Guild to earn rewards. And this is much more beneficial than working alone. Whenever you encounter any problems, the Hunter Guild will come forward to help you solve them. It can avoid a lot of trouble. Xu Tianming went directly to the office on the first floor of the guild. Hello, I want to register as a hunter, Xu Tianming said directly. The female deacon at the front desk looked up and was slightly surprised when she saw Xu Tianming's young face. But then a sweet smile appeared. Okay, please give me your ID card. Xu Tianming gave him his ID card. Quickly entered a string of basic information. Please follow me. When registering hunters, we need to conduct a small test. The female deacon twisted her waist and led Xu Tianming into a secret room. The Hunter Guild is committed to fairness and justice, as well as protecting the privacy of each member. It won't depend on your initial awakening level. As long as you can pass the initial test of membership. Xu Tianming entered the secret room, and in front of him stood a humanoid mech that was nearly 2 meters tall. This is a doll made by our guild's alchemist master for basic testing. Defeat it and you will successfully become a member of our Hunter Guild. After the female deacon finished speaking, she withdrew to the side. The mechanical doll suddenly lifted its head and a red light shone in its eyes. At the same time, a phantom projection panel appeared in front of him. Name: Xu Tianming, 18 years old, skills. Space-based, weight adjustment, 5th level, bang, bang, bang. The robot accidentally stomped on the ground and rushed towards Xu Tianming. Xu Tianming was fearless in the face of danger, not even moving. Just as the mechanical doll was about to approach him, he suddenly took out a coin from his pocket and gently threw it into the air. Bang! The coin suddenly fell. With a force of 600 pounds, the coin directly smashed through the head of the mechanical doll. It stood straight and fell to the ground. The female deacon's eyes flashed with a gleam of light. The information shows that Xu Tianming has just turned 18, so theoretically, he should have just graduated from high school. But should we just wake up at this time? Even if it's a powerful spatial system, why is it still a fifth-order ability? However, this doubt was only fleeting, and the female deacon didn't think much, just smiled and congratulated. Xu Tianming filled out several forms again. Okay, please pay the membership fee in 100 copper banknotes. Starting today, you will be a bronze medal hunter in our union. The female deacon took out a brown badge. Compared to the official Tianwei army, the membership requirements for the Hunter Guild are much simpler, and Xu Tianming has honestly paid the money. This 100 yuan is his weekly meal. However, for the sake of the overall situation, the current losses are nothing at all. When he came out, Xu Tianming suddenly saw a wake-up room across from the testing room. He couldn't help but suddenly ask, "Excuse me, does the guild have awakening stones for sale?" "Yes, a awakening stone worth 1,000 gold, you can buy it at the shop," the female butler said with a smile. The basic currencies of this world are divided into copper banknotes, silver banknotes, and gold banknotes. 1,000 gold, definitely not cheap. "Okay, I got it." Xu Tianming nodded. Although it is expensive, this thing must be bought. After all, he still wants to see if he can truly awaken the ability of other attributes. After registering, Xu Tianming came to the taskbar. In the bronze medal mission, he searched for those with higher rewards. "I urgently need a crystal of blood and tears, and I am willing to pay a reward of 300 copper coins." Location: Goblin's Nest in the Secret Forest. Attached is a map. Urgent for an ice and snow orchid, willing to pay a reward of 700 copper coins. Location: Yumi Forest, Blackwater Pond. Attention, there is an 8-level Blackwater crocodile guarding there. Attached is a map. Well, that's all for these two tasks. If we hunt more monsters then, we should be able to sell them for some money. Xu Tianming's eyes widened as he looked. Previously, working hard as a gig only allowed me to earn a few dozen copper coins. But a task here can easily cost hundreds. Xu Tianming received the registration task at the registration office and turned around to leave the Hunter Guild. TSK, if you dare to take on the mission of the Blackwater Pool at such a young age, it's likely to be gone forever. At the registration office, a female deacon couldn't help but sigh. The female deacon who had previously served Xu Tianming mysteriously smiled and said, "That's not necessarily true." Xu Tianming arrived at the entrance of the dungeon of the Yumi Forest Maze. Since the revival of spiritual energy in this world, countless penalty areas have emerged. All the changes and monsters in heaven and earth come from forbidden objects. The so-called Maze Dungeon is actually a forbidden area that has already been conquered. But some penalty areas have been unable to be conquered for a long time, and in some cases, even playing against the 9 guardians is impossible. Fortunately, those large penalty areas have always been relatively stable, otherwise the human race would be in danger. A dark and secluded gate appeared in front of him, which was the first time Xu Tianming had seen the entrance of a dungeon with his own eyes. Although it is only a beginner dungeon, there are still 4 heavenly guard officers guarding this place year-round. Xu Tianming has registered the information. I walked straight towards the entrance of the dungeon. At this moment, he keenly noticed that several unfriendly gazes were scanning him back and forth. According to some knowledge taught by the teacher, this dungeon of the secret realm is usually a hiding place for some criminals. They wander around it all year round, not only hunting monsters, but also liking to kill people and steal goods. It seems that they need to be more careful. Xu Tianming walked directly into the entrance. A secluded towering forest appeared before my eyes. Slightly, the blue-silver light floats in mid-air, like fireflies and countless elves. Oh. Come in a new egg. You look really handsome. A voice suddenly sounded. Xu Tianming turned his head lightly and saw a group of people walking towards him with good and evil smiles. Little brat, haven't you weaned yet? Even you, a delicate and tender person, dare to come here and not be afraid of being slaughtered for drinking. Led by a bald one-eyed dragon, constantly scrutinizing Xu Tianming. It seems like saliva is about to flow out. The heavenly guard is guarding outside the door, do you dare to act recklessly? Xu Tianming spoke calmly. Ha ha ha, innocent kid, it seems you haven't figured out what this is yet. There are two worlds outside the door and inside, and death is a common occurrence here. Not bad, let alone we are all wanderers. As long as we don't go out in this dungeon, the external rules and regulations will definitely not affect us. Kid, if you're sensible, hand over all your money and play around with our boss, maybe you'll save your life. A few people with sneers seem to have already taken their fate. Xu Tianming frowned slightly and fell into a moment of contemplation. Are you saying that killing in the dungeon can also be done without legal control? That's nature. Even if you don't die in the hands of humans, you will still die in the hands of monsters. Who killed you and who will investigate in this instance? The bald one-eyed dragon sneered repeatedly. Cut it off, then why don't you tell me so damn early? Boom. Suddenly, as Xu Tianming's words fell, a gust of air seemed to sweep past the people in front of him. A few people were stunned and didn't know what had happened. Xu Tianming suddenly breathed a sigh of relief, and a few people flew out lightly. At this moment, Xu Tianming took out a dagger from his waist and quickly chased after him. Draw a few beautiful bloodlines in the air. Chapter 5. Unilateral Massacre, Collecting Experience. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xu Tianming stood coldly. At his feet, 7 corpses lay horizontally and vertically on the ground. Some have blood flowing down their necks. Some of them are bleeding from the heart and mouth. Well, I haven't practiced in the orphanage for a few years. My body remembers the movements, Xu Tianming smiled. At this moment, there was an incredible light in the eyes of all 7 people, with a sense of dying without closing their eyes. May fate not care so much. He, who had read online articles in his past life, deeply understood. If you can't be decisive, it's better to go home and buy tea egg as soon as possible. Xu Tianming began to search for them. I'll go. I only have 1,000 copper coins when I take on 2 tasks, and this group of people actually have more than 3,000 gold on them. Damn it, why don't I just become a wanderer and count the balls? Xu Tianming's eyes widened as he looked. Fortunately, he still held on to his inner moral bottom line. As for these few people, if they had not planned to take action against Xu Tianming at the beginning, then Xu Tianming naturally could not have taken their lives. Therefore, this is self-inflicted and cannot be blamed on others. Xu Tianming picked out some useful things to carry with them. For example, drugs or magical materials. He carefully selected a black dagger, which was much sharper than his previous ordinary dagger. I dug a pit and buried the rest directly. He walked towards the depths, intending to start by practicing in leveling. According to the detailed information, the black water crocodile in the black water pool is already level 8. Although Xu Tianming's ability level has reached level 5, he is actually only level 1 himself. Such capital is simply not enough to look at. You must first be promoted to a lower level. He is walking in the forest. Suddenly, there was movement coming from the grass ahead. A few seconds later, a white shadow suddenly spread out, with a murderous intent, rushing straight towards Xu Tianming's throat. That is a rabbit, a strange and eerie rabbit-like creature with sharp teeth. Xu Tianming remained calm and blew out a breath. The rabbit immediately flew back slowly like a balloon. It looked puzzled and didn't know what had happened. Xu Tianming caught up and fiercely stabbed it in the neck with a dagger. Puff. In an instant, fresh blood flowed. Meanwhile, a soft female voice suddenly appeared. You killed a level 1 vampire rabbit, experience +10, is this the world's voice unique to the legendary maze Forbidden Zone? Xu Tianming was surprised. This was the first time he had heard this voice. He immediately checked his information. Name. Xu Tianming, level. LV1, 2%, skill. Weight adjustment, 5th level, it seems that at least 50 vampire rabbits need to be killed in order to advance to the next level. Xu Tianming continued to walk forward. Find traces of other monsters. At this moment, within a distance of 10 meters around him, a special field seems to have formed. Everything that is close will naturally become lighter in weight. Just as a leaf was about to fall, it was only a gust of air brought by Xu Tianming's walking that blew it up high. Quickly, another white shadow emerged, still a familiar routine. The blood-sucking rabbit's big mouth bit toward Xu Tianming's neck. Xu Tianming waved it casually, and a gust of wind knocked it upside down and hit the tree. Xu Tianming quickly walked forward, raised the dagger in his hand, and suddenly inserted it into the head of the vampire rabbit. A massacre began here. You killed a level 1 vampire rabbit, experience +10, you killed a level 1 vampire rabbit, experience +10, you killed a level 1 vampire rabbit, experience +10, half an hour has passed. Xu Tianming has already slaughtered 100 blood-sucking rabbits. His level was natural and he was promoted to level 2. Roar. But just when Xu Tianming acted as the little white rabbit killer. Behind a big tree, a big gray wolf the size of a calf suddenly darted out. Its eyes were filled with green flames, and its mouth was filled with gusts of foul air. Xu Tianming has not yet learned appraisal techniques, so his background cannot be seen. However, with the knowledge of being the first in his grade, he recognized it at a glance as a ghost fire gray wolf. Oh, there's a new product coming, then come on. Xu Tianming's face remained calm as he extended a finger and lightly hooked it. And his actions were nothing but a completely infuriating ghost fire gray wolf. Ow! The ghost fire gray wolf roared, and the green flames in its eyes became even more intense. Suddenly, he rushed towards Xu Tianming. A sharp claw ran straight towards Xu Tianming's chest. Bang! With a clear sound, the claws of the ghost fire gray wolf accurately landed on Xu Tianming's body. However, it did not cause any harm to him. A hint of surprise flashed in the eyes of the ghost fire gray wolf. Sorry, you only weigh 1 milligram overall now, so you won't cause any harm to me. Xu Tianming raised the corner of his mouth and fiercely grabbed the claws of the ghost fire gray wolf. Then he exerted force, like swinging a belt, and gave the ghost fire gray wolf a spinning windmill. For the convenience of tossing it up, Xu Tianming specifically lifted its weight to 500 grams at the moment he touched it. Then it kept hitting its body on the ground and trees. Looking at a large blue stone in the distance, Xu Tianming was like carrying a dead dog, crazily smashing the ghost fire gray wolf onto it. The ghost fire gray wolf was smashed and bled in its mouth, with stars in its eyes. Xu Tianming's knife ended in its life. In the midst of fear and shock, the ghost fire gray wolf rose to the west like this. You killed a level 3 ghost fire gray wolf, experience +45, oh. I can't believe this guy is at level 3, no wonder he has added a lot of experience. But speaking of which, my ability is really abnormal. Killing level 3 monsters is like playing. Xu Tianming smiled and said. Then he continued to search for the traces of the monsters. However, most of the encountered ones are still vampire rabbits or ghostly fire gray wolves. Occasionally encountering other monsters, but their grades are not very high. But there's no other way, he's been walking on the outskirts of this secret realm. This mysterious forest itself is a level 10 maze dungeon, and it is somewhat difficult for him to challenge higher level dungeons deeper with his current strength. So first brush the level on the periphery to win by quantity. More than 2 hours have passed. Xu Tianming didn't even know how many monsters he had slaughtered. And his level has been greatly improved. Name: Xu Tianming, level LV4, 10.05%, skill. Weight adjustment, 5th level. At this point, in order to upgrade on the periphery, the amount of monsters to be hunted is already too large. Therefore, Xu Tianming decided to take a deeper look. Continuously unleashing one's abilities can be quite terrifying in terms of mental exhaustion. Xu Tianming also felt that his vision was a bit blurry. He quickly sat down to rest and entered a state of meditation. Meditation is the best way for supernatural beings to recover their spiritual power. After 20 minutes, Xu Tianming's spirit was once again full. He then walked deeper into the dense forest. Chapter 6. Upgrade again, 30 tons weight. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Deep in the secluded forest. At this moment, the sky is gradually getting dark. Xu Tianming held a python corpse with a calf thick in his hand. You killed one level 6 striped python, experience plus 65, name: Xu Tianming, level LV6, 85.4%, skill. Weight adjustment, 5th level. Space system. You can freely adjust the weight of objects within 300 kilograms, but the adjusted weight cannot exceed 300 kilograms. TSK, the level of monsters deep inside is high, and there are indeed many experiences added, but it's really difficult to find them. I still need to take some time to learn an auxiliary exploration skill. Xu Tianming pondered and said. The further you go, the more experience you need to increase your level. However, powerful monsters have a strong ability to perceive crises and are unlikely to take the initiative to escape. Xu Tianming can only find them one by one. But this efficiency is really too low. Stop looking, find a cave to rest for a while. After the upgrade point refreshes tomorrow, go and complete the task. Before coming, Xu Tianming knew that perhaps there was still a way to successfully break into the goblin's lair, but the black water crocodile could never be dealt with by him with his current abilities. Because that guy is not only an 8th level monster, but also has a weight of over 700 kilograms. Not to mention its other skills. But as long as we wait until tomorrow, it will be different. 2 upgrade points, increasing skills by 100 times. You can imagine how terrifying Xu Tianming's ability would be at that time. Don't mention that your crocodile weighs over 700 kilograms. Even if you weigh a few tons, it will be easy for you to handle. Xu Tianming came to a cave he encountered on his way, which was originally inhabited by a level 5 two-headed wolf. But it was killed by Xu Tianming. So this cave was temporarily requisitioned by him. Although the taste inside is very strong. But since I have become a hunter, this kind of thing will definitely become commonplace in the future. If I can't bear this, how can I do it? One night passed like this. Although the cave is damp and uncomfortable. But Xu Tianming slept quite soundly. After all, I have been an orphan since I was young, and there are not so many sentimental places. The first time you open your eyes. He couldn't wait to check the situation of his upgrade points. 2 white dots suspended in front of the blood-colored stars. He quickly added 2 upgrade points to his own abilities. For a moment, his abilities underwent a earth-shattering transformation once again. Skill. Weight adjustment, 7th level. Space system. You can freely adjust the weight of objects up to 30,000 kilograms, but the adjusted weight cannot exceed 30,000 kilograms. I lost it. 3. 30 tons. Xu Tianming widened his eyes. Although he had known for a long time, he still felt terrifying when he actually saw this value. You know, he just woke up a day ago. Now, this can barely be considered as the power of moving mountains and filling the sea. Humph, I think the awakening stone pillar should also be replaced. With such a powerful power, it has only been rated as E.level. Xu Tianming couldn't help but mutter. But he also knew that when this ability was still at the first level, it was indeed too overwhelming. Alas, if this continues, this skill will soon reach level 10. Suddenly, I don't want to give it any more upgrade points. Xu Tianming frowned again. Each skill of the supernatural reaches level 10 and cannot continue to grow. Can only evolve towards higher level skills. But evolved skills do not necessarily mean they are stronger than previous skills. But if you stay at level 10 for too long, the skill itself will become unstable. Unless it is elevated to the entire skill spectrum, the highest level skill. Xu Tianming is a bit distressed. Forget it, let's give this ability a try first. Xu Tianming no longer thinks too much. At this moment, his hands were itching uncontrollably, and he just wanted to quickly test this strength. He has now walked out of the cave and eaten some dry food that he had previously searched for on the Cyclops bald-headed group. Then, he went to execute the 2 tasks he received in the guild. According to the instructions on the map. He quickly arrived at Goblin's lair. As soon as Xu Tianming appeared, a pair of blood-red eyes immediately lit up in the pitch-black cave. Cough cough, let me say a few words. Goblin inside, listen and offer the blood and tears crystals obediently. We'll be safe together, otherwise I'll have to level this place. Xu Tianming's words fell, but there were no memories in the cave. Hey, did you hear me? Roar. Before Xu Tianming could finish speaking, a green dwarf suddenly appeared in the nearby forest. He looked strangely shaped, with sharp ears and fangs, emitting piercing screams. Holding a bone stick in his hand, he smashed it towards Xu Tianming's forehead. Xu Tianming played with a few small stones with his right hand and took the opportunity to throw them forward. When Meteor arrived at the top of Goblin's head, Xu Tianming suddenly added their weight to 30 tons. Shoo, shoo, shoo. For a moment, these stones seemed to turn into a barrage of bullets. Poo-poo poo-poo. A burst of blood splattered. That goblin was beaten into a hornet's nest by those stones, leaving only a broken body on the ground. There were waves of thick and foul-smelling fresh blood flowing out. What are you doing? It's not like the cafeteria grabbing food. I haven't finished speaking, why are you in a hurry? Xu Tianming gave a white glance, and that goblin who had already hiccuped his butt. And the killing intent around suddenly faded away a lot. Obviously, Goblin here already understands that the human in front of him is definitely not easy to provoke. Hello. Cousin, I'm coming in. Xu Tianming stepped into the cave and opened up his abilities. Don't worry about any attacks at all. Goblin, who is not afraid of death, wants to challenge the bottom line but just stepped forward. But suddenly lay on the ground. At this moment, Xu Tianming made their own weight reach 30 tons. But Xu Tianming only precisely controlled their flesh and skin to achieve such weight, while keeping their bones and organs unchanged. Therefore, their bones and internal organs cannot withstand the terrifying weight of their bodies. My bones and internal organs all shattered into pieces in an instant. You killed a level 5 goblin, experience plus 55, you killed a level 5 goblin, experience plus 50, you killed a level 6 goblin, experience plus 60, name. Xu Tianming, level. LV7, 25%, weight adjustment, 7th order. Space system. The weight of objects up to 30,000 kilograms can be freely adjusted, but the adjusted weight cannot exceed 30,000 kilograms. This upgrade speed is simply not too satisfying. However, such a powerful ability cannot be without a cost. After only holding on for 2 minutes, Xu Tianming felt that his spiritual power was about to be drained. A sharp pain came from the brain. He can only reduce his power output. Fortunately, we killed most of the goblins as a warning to the monkeys ahead. Not only did it give him more experience, but it also made other goblins feel intimidated. No goblin dares to step forward rashly again. After reaching another level, the spiritual power was once again filled, and Xu Tianming completely closed the skill. Prepare at a critical moment before activating. Chapter 7. A Move Falling from the Sky. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xu Tianming walked smoothly to the depths. The blood and tears crystals are suspended in the cave. In the corner next to her, the plump and ugly queen goblin trembled and looked pitifully at Xu Tianming. Xu Tianming just glanced at it, took away the blood and tears crystals, and turned his head to leave. But at this moment, Queen Goblin suddenly had crimson eyes. Revealing its sharp teeth and claws, it attacked Xu Tianming's vest. Bang! Just for a moment. Queen Goblin lay on the ground, spewing blood from her mouth and nose, and her bones and internal organs were all crushed. You killed one Queen Goblin at level 8, experience plus 85, Xu Tianming didn't even look and walked out of the nest. He is going to find that black water crocodile. Just a moment after Xu Tianming left, a team of people and horses appeared here. There are a total of 5 people. Their levels are not high either, most of them are level 6 or 7. The tallest man among them is carrying a giant sword and is a level 8 supernatural being. It looks like the leader of this team. They arrived outside the goblin lair. A gust of fishy wind emanated from the cave. They walked in but found nothing inside. There was only one body with goblin, which was shocking. All turned into meat patties, as if they had been flattened by something. They entered into it. But only a dozen or so scattered goblins were found. Even reaching the depths of the nest, even Queen Goblin has been killed. Damn it! Captain, what's going on? A little girl's face turned slightly pale and couldn't help but ask. I'm really unlucky. I've been preparing for a month, but I didn't expect someone else to take the lead. I don't even have any blood or tears left, complained a man with glasses. It seems that the person who made the move has a very high level, and is likely already a level 9 or 10 strong person, which is why even Queen Goblin has no chance to counterattack. The man with a big sword on his back checked the situation at the scene and said. Level 10. Isn't it? This is just a level 10 dungeon. Since you're interning, why are you rushing out and competing with us for food? The man with glasses looked angry. Forget it, we can only go to the black water pool next. Without blood and tears crystals, the material of ice and snow orchids can also be used as a substitute. The captain immediately made new arrangements. A few people couldn't leave and rushed towards the black pool. At this point, follow the map. Xu Tianming arrived at the black water pool. This black pond is located in a quiet place deep in the secluded forest. This place is shrouded in smoke. There is a strange light purple mist floating in the air. Xu Tianming took out a detoxification pill from his pocket and threw it into the mouth. This was also something that couldn't be found on that group of homeless people earlier. According to the information displayed, the mist scattered around this black pool has a certain hallucinogenic effect. Therefore, he must take the detoxification pill in advance. The pond was pitch black, as if someone had poured ink into it. The entire pool has a diameter of at least 10 meters. And across from there, you can see a faint and cool blue light swaying in the wind. That is a flower, a strange flower that looks like ice crystals. That's the ice and snow orchid. Xu Tianming glanced at the pool in front of him. Brainstorming. Then he turned his head and walked into the forest. After a moment, he carried a round blue stone with a diameter of about 10 meters and slowly walked up a cliff about 10 meters high next to the pond. Coincidentally, the previous team also arrived at Blackwater Pond. But the little girl from afar suddenly looked surprised. "Captain, look, that stone is moving by itself," the little girl exclaimed in surprise. The leader with a big sword on his back also turned his head and indeed saw a round and rolling big stone moving slowly in the distance. Moreover, the motion trajectory is very peculiar, definitely not rolling. Is it some kind of monster on the surface of a stone crawling? The man with glasses guessed. Or maybe some powerful monster lifted that big stone, said a handsome short-haired woman in the team. It's all possible, be careful. If it's really related to a monster, it's very likely that this monster was fighting against that black water crocodile. The leader's face was somewhat serious. Xu Tianming has arrived at the cliff. He glanced at the pool below, then blew a strong breath, and the light and floating large stone in his hand flew out directly. When the stone moves above the pool, Xu Tianming suddenly increased its weight to tons. Bang! The boulder suddenly fell, causing a terrifying roar. The pitch-black water in the entire pool overflowed, causing a towering waterfall. After a burst of water vapor gushed out. On the shore, some long and strangely shaped fish and shrimp were constantly twisting and rolling, bouncing and bouncing. The black pool is gone. Such a heavy boulder fell into the pool, instantly drying up the entire pool. In the pool, only a shallow layer of sugar water deep in the fingers remained. The boulder directly smashed cracks around the hard bottom of the lake and the water pool. The remaining lake water is also decreasing bit by bit along the cracks. Should I be dead, right? Xu Tianming patted himself and then jumped directly off the cliff. Amazingly, he is like a thin piece of paper at this moment. Slowly drifting down in the air, gently landing on the ground. He tried to walk into the pool and indeed saw a big guy suppressing him below the boulder. A pitch-black crocodile with a head the size of a car tire. This terrifying weight fell from the sky, clearly causing great trauma to it. At this point, the big crocodile's mouth was wide open and its internal organs had already vomited out of its mouth. Also accompanied by some food residues. Two of the human skulls are exceptionally prominent. The black water crocodile only had one breath left. How about it? Do you know what an attack from the sky means? Xu Tianming smiled. Pulling out the dagger, it plunged fiercely into its head, resulting in its life. You killed one level 8 black water crocodile, experience plus 86, name. Xu Tianming, level. LV7, 49.5%, weight adjustment, 7th order. Space system. The weight of objects up to 30,000 kilograms can be freely adjusted, but the adjusted weight cannot exceed 30,000 kilograms. Damn it, with so much experience added, I couldn't successfully level up. It seems like I need a higher level monster. Xu Tianming was thinking, otherwise try to find the final boss of this dungeon, maybe it can bring him more experience. This piece of leather should be worth some money, but unfortunately there is no space for any items, so it's really difficult to take away. It would be too ostentatious to carry on your body. Xu Tianming moved the boulder and looked at the body of the black water crocodile with some regret. But he could only remove a few teeth from the black water crocodile. Then he came to the ice flower and carefully picked it. Put down that flower. At this moment, a voice suddenly appeared behind Xu Tianming. Chapter 8. Moon Sword Team. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xu Tianming slowly turned around. 5 figures appeared across the street. He looked at the few people in confusion and said, "Who are you?" "Humph, kid, we've been watching the ice and snow orchid in your hand for several months now. Hurry up and hand it over." One of the 5 bespectacled men spoke in a commanding tone. Xu Tianming frowned lightly and carefully examined the orchid in his hand. "Why isn't your name here?" Xu Tianming asked with a sincere expression on his face. "Ah! How could the spiritual material growing in this secret realm have my name?" said the glasses man subconsciously. Oh, do you call it, agree? Xu Tianming asked again. What do you mean, kid? It's just a flower, can it agree? An impatient anger appeared on the man's face with glasses. Xu Tianming smiled calmly and said, I'm sorry, since it doesn't agree, it's mine. Speaking, Xu Tianming directly put the flowers into a bag around his waist. You. The man with glasses is about to show off. The man carrying a huge sword suddenly reached out a hand to stop him. The man with glasses looked at the captain with a puzzled expression and said, Captain, he's just a level 7 supernatural being. You're level 8, are you still afraid of him? The captain ignored him and just looked at the situation in front of him, gradually becoming more serious. Brother, did you make both this black crocodile and this black pond? That's right, Xu Tianming said casually. You fart. You still look like a student egg, right? I don't know what kind of luck it took to reach level 7, but I thought I was invincible in the world. I don't know how many level 7 supernatural beings this black water crocodile has buried, but you dare to say you can kill it. I see you're just passing by and happen to meet a strong person who killed this black water crocodile. You took the opportunity to pick up the leak. The man with glasses was the first to express disbelief. Xu Tianming looked at him with a slight displeasure. Undercover, did this kid take the wrong medicine when he went out and used gunpowder as hemorrhoid medicine? Humph. What I can't stand the most is you pretending to be a fat guy with a swollen face, continued the man with glasses. Silly. Xu Tianming cursed and didn't want to talk to them anymore. He immediately wanted to leave. Return the things. At this moment, the man with glasses couldn't help but suddenly have a slender long sword in his hand. He seemed to be stepping on a gust of wind and rushed towards Xu Tianming on the other side at a terrifying speed. He relied on himself being at level 7 and had no fear of Xu Tianming. Xu Tianming looked at him coldly and remained unmoved. Wait until the man with glasses rushes within 10 meters of Xu Tianming. Bang! His whole body suddenly plummeted, and his face sank directly into the pool. Xu Tianming's body shimmered with a faint light, and this time he added to the weight of the bones on the bespectacled man's body. His bones instantly weighed 700 to 800 pounds. With his muscular strength, he naturally cannot support such a heavy bone. I fell straight down. Although there is only a shallow layer of water left in the pool at this moment, the man with glasses on his face almost drowned. But at this moment his bones were so heavy that he couldn't even lift his hand. This move made the rest of the team's faces change drastically. At the same level, the man with glasses has no strength to fight back. I'm sorry, brother. This time it was our fault. I apologize on his behalf, please show me your respect. The leader immediately stood up with a sincere attitude. Xu Tianming glanced at him and casually lifted the weight from the man with glasses. The man with glasses lifted his head in an instant, panting heavily. Is there still a problem now? Xu Tianming crouched down, tilted his head and asked with a smile. The bespectacled man's face turned green and red, but he couldn't say anything. Brother, thank you very much. However, we really need that ice and snow orchid. Why don't you offer a price? I won't bargain. The leader first thanked and then said. Sorry, this is the task I have taken on. I have to rush back to the Hunter Guild to complete the mission, so I cannot sell it to you. Since I have chosen the identity of a hunter. Naturally, one cannot be on Monday and must abide by the rules of the guild. Otherwise, the significance of obtaining this hunter title from the beginning would be lost. Hunter Guild, you received this mission in the Hunter Guild. For a moment, everyone in front of me was surprised. Yeah, what's wrong? Xu Tianming frowned slightly. This task was personally released by our captain at the Hunter Guild. The little girl in the team suddenly spoke up. Ah! Xu Tianming was indeed surprised at this moment. He was puzzled for a moment, then glanced at them with his eyes. trapped in a moment of contemplation. After a moment, he smiled and said, "Since that's the case, why don't you come back to the Hunter Guild with me?" "Okay, that's natural." The leader knew that Xu Tianming was worried that they were lying. After all, at this point, they also have no evidence to prove the truth of this matter. Returning to the Hunter Guild together is the safest approach. As for whether this place was actually done by Xu Tianming, it is no longer important. How many people don't know if there are any space objects? Xu Tianming suddenly asked. Of course there's one, but there's 10 cubic meters of space inside. Chu Hao hesitated for a moment before finally lifting a bracelet in his hand. That's just right. Could you please lend me a loan, brother? After Xu Tianming finished speaking, he went straight to the body of the black water crocodile with a knife and carefully peeled off its entire skin. "Thank you, brother," he said, taking the crocodile skin to Chu Hao's side. It's okay." Chu Hao's smile was a bit awkward. Undercover, this kid is really impolite. After storing the crocodile skin, a few people set off for their return journey. The leader introduced his team to Xu Tianming along the way. Their team's group Moon Sword. The leader's name is Chu Hao, a gold divine. And the man with glasses in the team is called Qin Wuming, a supernatural figure of the wind. The tall woman with short hair is called Ouyang Qian, a water system supernatural. There is also a boy named Yang Junming who looks somewhat weak, and that is a wood-type supernatural being. The most surprising thing is that little girl, who is a dual-attribute supernatural of fire and earth. And Xu Tianming also told them his own name. "Brother Xu, you're really amazing. Judging from your appearance, you're definitely not over 20 years old, right? You're already a miraculous supernatural being. You're really amazing." Chu Hao praised and said. Xu Tianming smiled and didn't say much. If they were to know that they had only been awakened for 2 days, it would probably scare these people to death. We have just informed you of our attributes. You should also talk about your attributes, right? What strange move were you using just now? Why can't I move it? Qin Wuming next to him suddenly asked. Xu Tianming didn't seem to hear him at all and didn't pay any attention to him. Just got to know these people, just give them a name and it's amazing. Do you still want to know how many hairs he has on his body? It's just a dream. Accompanying her, the little girl Wang Yi's big eyes kept scanning Xu Tianming's body. Seems to be full of interest in him. At this moment, Yang Junming and the team suddenly stopped and his expression changed dramatically. "Oh no, my plant sensing is malfunctioning. What's coming over?" Chapter 9. Final Boss, Jade Face Spider. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As the leader of the team, Chu Hao immediately sensed something was wrong and drew a large sword from his back. "Be careful, everyone." At this moment, Ouyang Qian suddenly let out a loud cry. She was entangled in something and suddenly dragged out. Bang! Xu Tianming raised his hand and suddenly a huge depression appeared on the ground in the distance. After a moment, a huge spider emerged. But it has turned into a meat patty, and green blood spurts out from all over it. Chu Hao seized the opportunity and raised his sword to cut off the spider silk sticking to Ouyang Qian's feet. He was pulled back with a tug. A few people formed a circle. Suddenly, countless dark purple mist drifted around them. The densely packed blood-red eyes in the weapon lit up. On the big trees around, one big spider after another emerged from the grass. Black all over with white patterns, it looks very dangerous at first glance. And at their end, on the top of the tall birch tree, a spider half the size of a car was staring at them intently. This big spider is several times larger than the other spiders around it, and its appearance is also different. Its body is mainly white with some ink patterns. Damn it! It's the boss of the secret forest, the jade-faced spider. Chu Hao was suddenly shocked. What's going on? Why did we break into boss's territory? Qin had a panicked expression and was also greatly puzzled. Done, these dozen or so black-faced spiders, each one is level 8 or above, and the jade-faced spider has reached level 10. How can we deal with this? Wang Yi's face turned pale and she looked flustered. It seems that the reason why the regional boss was annihilated just now caught the boss's attention, which is why he took the initiative to come here. We happened to be hit by a pond fish. Chu Hao's expression was very serious. Hey! Didn't you say you killed the black water crocodile earlier? Then you should have led the boss in the end, and you must take full responsibility. Qin Wuming once again accused Xu Tianming. Xu Tianming didn't even pay attention to him, just his gaze kept scrutinizing the jade-faced spider. The jade-faced spider is incredibly huge, and each of the black-faced spiders around it is the size of a calf. A cold and murderous aura emanated from all over the body. It seems that in this maze dungeon, there are many killings to cultivate such an aura. Did you hear? Enough. When is it now? Shut up quickly. Surviving now is the most important thing. Chu Hao lowered his voice and scolded, immediately interrupting Qin's words. A few people are on high alert. However, this group of big spiders did not actively intend to attack them. It seems that they are also examining and scrutinizing the few humans in front of them. The jade-faced spider on the other side, with 12 large eyes flashing a strange light. Its gaze is focused on Xu Tianming. It is obvious that it has detected danger in this human body. Roar! After a moment, the jade-faced spider suddenly burst out with a sharp roar. Immediately, the other black-faced spiders seemed to receive instructions and suddenly launched an attack on the Moon Squad. They all rushed forward, sharp 8 spider feet. If it's like that sharp long hair. Coming straight towards their vital points one by one. Since I was in a big panic and quickly dodged. However, just a meeting left a significant injury on the body. Among the players, only Chu Hao is a level 8 supernatural being. Qin is a level 7 supernatural being. Others are even weaker. I can't stop this group of black-faced spiders starting at level 8. Chu Hao swung his heavy sword in his hand and suddenly cut off a group of black-faced spiders. But at that moment, they suddenly spewed out white threads from their mouths. The spider's silk was sharp and sharp, like an arrow breaking through the wind, suddenly piercing through Chu Hao's shoulder. Blood splattered for a moment. Captain. The scene was chaotic for a while, and the team members were all worried. Only Qin didn't know, his eyes were spinning. I don't know what I'm up to. Shoo, one spider silk after another shot at lightning speed. The Moon team and others could only keep dodging. White spider silk can easily pierce through grass, wood, and soil. Several big trees thicker than their waist collapsed in an instant, riddled with wounds and holes. We must find a glimmer of hope in the battle. Everyone is fully focused, seize the opportunity and leave immediately. Captain Chu Hao loudly reminded him to raise his sword and chop a black spider away. Bang! I am at this moment. Qin unexpectedly threw out a pill. The pill sprayed countless dark purple mist, blinding all eyes in the blink of an eye. Seizing the opportunity, he drove a gust of wind out of the gap that Chu Hao had cut, and quickly rushed out. I'm sorry, Captain. If I follow your instructions, then I'll take a step first. This bastard. Ouyang Qian couldn't help but curse. Don't worry about him, hurry up and gather them. We're one less person now and our combat power is lacking. We can't disperse anymore. The captain furrowed his brows. He turned his head to look in the direction of Xu Tianming and said, Brother Xu, you. Before he could finish speaking, he was stunned on the spot. I saw that Xu Tianming didn't even move a step. And in front of him, 4 huge black-faced spiders had already crawled on the ground. Seems to be under inexplicable immense pressure, struggling hard, but unable to even get up. Xu Tianming held a knife in his hand and ended them one by one. This is too powerful, isn't it? What kind of power is this? Yang Junming was already stunned and murmured softly. The other three were the same, seemingly hit hard and unable to speak for a moment. Wang Yi's big eyes were full of surprise and surprise. However, the sharp 12 big eyes of the jade-faced spider have also discovered the power of Xu Tianming. It immediately emitted a strange sound wave. The other black-faced spiders immediately gave up their attack on Chu Hao and the others. Turning around, he rushed towards Xu Tianming like a pack of bad wolves. Xu Tianming's expression remained calm, and any black-faced spider that approached him immediately lay on the ground. Xu Tianming increased their blood and internal organs, weighing several tons or more, limiting their mobility. A few people can come and kill them to gain experience, Xu Tianming suddenly said to Chu Hao's people. Brother Xu, is this really okay? Chu Hao was momentarily lost in thought and couldn't believe it. Of course, come over quickly. Xu Tianming smiled. Thank you, Brother Xu. The four of them were overjoyed and stepped forward to start harvesting the experience of the black-faced spider. Roar. The jade-faced spider let out a roar. Spitting out a spider's silk and sticking it to the branch of a towering tree, it shook violently and jumped high. From top to bottom, they were smashed towards Xu Tianming. Chapter 10. Killing Boss and Dropping Items. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Did you move? Ha! Xu Tianming took a breath and the jade-faced spider drifted out directly. It fell 7 or 8 meters away. A look of surprise flashed through its 12 big eyes, not understanding what had happened. But soon, it once again organized its offensive. Open your pitch-black big mouth and spray. White threads gushed out from its mouth. The only white thread was entangled with strands of black air. A leaf fell and touched a white thread. Instantly corroded. Chu Hao's pupils narrowed and he said, "Be careful, it's poisonous." They had already killed the black-faced spiders around Xu Tianming at the fastest speed possible. At this moment, upon hearing the captain's reminder, several members of the Moon team quickly jumped away and dodged. Xu Tianming's eyes suddenly opened. A wave of energy swept out. In an instant, the tips of the spider silk were suddenly weighted to a few tons. Poo-poo spider silk fell one by one, and all of them were inserted into the ground several meters away from Xu Tianming. Adding the tip of this spider silk, it is already sharp and sharp. In this moment, it pierced deep into the earth. The face of the jade-faced spider changed greatly, and it was desperately trying to struggle with the spider silk connected to its mouth. But I found that these spider threads were incredibly strong and couldn't be pulled out at all. As a last resort, the jade-faced spider could only use its sharp teeth to bite through the silk in its mouth. At this point, it has become even more angry. It was originally the king of this entire maze dungeon, but was teased by the human in front of it, causing it to repeatedly embarrass itself. This is simply unforgivable. It let out a terrifying roar. The shock on the spot made everyone's heads ache. The members of the monthly support team felt as if their brains were about to crack open, and their voices seemed to directly affect their spirits. In Xu Tianming's field of vision, the jade-faced spider unexpectedly began to undergo changes. Its pure white-like jade surface suddenly turned bright red like blood, and its entire body was further swelling. Oh, this is what I used to call madness, when playing games, right? Xu Tianming watched this scene curiously. And the crazed jade-faced spider suddenly pounced at full speed. At this point, his strength had increased several times, and with each step forward, the sharp spider legs would leave half-meter deep potholes on the ground. Xu Tianming did not retreat but instead advanced, charging towards the jade-faced spider. He lay low, his hands constantly picking up the gravel and some branches and leaves on the ground. He brushed past the jade-faced spider and charged towards the opposite side. The jade-faced spider went crazy and now only wanted to kill Xu Tianming. A sudden break also turned the direction, chasing closely. But at this moment, Xu Tianming suddenly threw some messy things in his hand at it with his backhand. When those miscellaneous items came to the top of the jade face, Xu Tianming raised his hand and fell sharply. Every stone and branch instantly gained a weight of over 10 tons. One powerful force after another hit the head of the jade-faced spider, instantly causing it to fall upside down. But wait until the dust clears. The jade-faced spider did not suffer any injuries, but lay flat on the ground due to an imbalance in its center of gravity. It flipped over and got up again, charging towards Xu Tianming. TSK, a level 10 monster has undergone a tremendous transformation in its body. Even if it is not a type of monster that excels in defense, its body's hardness is not comparable to those of previous monsters. Xu Tianming has gained knowledge again. He stood straight and no longer dodged. At the moment when the jade-faced spider rushes forward, Xu Tianming suddenly grabbed its sturdy spider legs and lifted it up, then slammed it heavily onto the ground. Bang! Smoke and dust are rising again. The jade-faced spider once again lay on the ground with its belly thrown up by Xu Tianming. The powerful anger made it emit bursts of blood-red aura all over its body. He roared and struggled, but this time he found that no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't turn over again. Xu Tianming took out the pitch-black dagger again. Aim at the head of the jade-faced spider and stab it with a knife. You can only hear a clang. Sparks splatter everywhere. This powerful knife only left a shallow wound on its head. Tisk, it's really hard. Xu Tianming looked around and then climbed up a nearby tree in 2s and 3s. Arrived at a position 4 or 5 meters above the ground. He held the dagger between his 2 fingers and aimed it at the head of the jade-faced spider below. Then, releasing the dagger with his fingers, he suddenly gained a few tons of weight in the moment he left his hand. Puzzy. The sharp knife pierced straight in, piercing the entire blade into the head of the jade-faced spider. The foul-smelling green and purple blood immediately flowed out. Jade-faced spider, howling in pain. 8 sharp pig legs danced wildly, and after more than 10 seconds, they stopped struggling. You killed the boss, a level 10 jade-faced spider, experience plus 101. You have obtained an item, the anger necklace. The ranking of the secret forest dungeon clearance list has been refreshed, with Xu Tianming ranking first. Time: 20.31.06 seconds. Tisk, truly a level 10 monster, it can even drop items. Xu Tianming didn't even care about rankings. Quickly grab the necklace floating in front of you and immediately check your information. Name: Xu Tianming, level LV8, 10.09%, skill. Weight adjustment, 7th level. With the experience of this boss and the previous few black-faced spiders, we finally broke through to level 8. Xu Tianming's face was filled with joy. If it weren't for the decreasing experience in the future, he would have planned to stay here and wait for the boss to resurrect, constantly leveling up. Brother Xu, are you too powerful? Chu Hao and his companions ran over and looked at the body of the jade-faced spider, feeling a bit speechless for a moment. Indeed, being able to kill level 10 monsters at level 7 is outrageous, isn't it? Ouyang Qian couldn't help but sigh. Who dares to believe that this strength is only at level 7 or 8, and even others cannot believe it. It is within level 10. Yang Junming couldn't help but say. Brother Xu, you're really amazing. Can you teach me how to become so strong? Wang Yi's excited eyes were filled with small stars. Right, Xu, teach us too. Chu Hao and others also rushed to say. Stop. It's okay for EE to call me brother. It seems like you guys are all older than me, right? Xu Tianming was speechless and stopped their words. No, the master is the teacher, and the strong are respected. Although you are relatively young in terms of age, Brother Xu, your strength is definitely beyond words. Chu Hao continued to flatter. Xu Tianming was a bit puzzled. Why didn't he see this guy's virtue at first? And there's a sentence you said wrong. Although EE looks like a child, she may be even older than you. She's already 25 years old, Chu Hao suddenly said. Captain, you talk too much. Wang Yi couldn't help but stare at Chu Hao with a resentful expression. Xu Tianming also didn't expect that Wang Yi looked like she was only 13 or 14 years old. But considering that he won't wake up until the age of 18, Xu Tianming has tried his best to imagine his age as much as possible. I didn't expect to underestimate a woman's appearance. Xu Tianming doesn't want to waste any more time. Collected some materials from the jade-faced spider and black-faced spider, and headed straight towards the exit. The Moon Sword Squad immediately chased after them.